Okay guys, so for our final history project, we decided to make pizza.
We're competing with the other group, which is Phil, Anthony, Nick, and Alex, and they are making traditional Italian pizza, which is called the Margherita pizza, and we are making American pizza.
Okay, fine. So just a little bit of background on how pizza was brought to America. The Italians brought it over when they immigrated to America, and with them they brought their culinary culture. They primarily settled in the northeast cities, which were New York City, Boston, and Philly.
In these cities, they opened different shops like bakeries, and they fed other Italian immigrants. In the early 20th century, most Americans didn't even know what pizza was, but it soon became a sensation all over the country. Filippo Morano opened the first pizza shop in America.
Okay, so to start, we're gonna make the sauce. So
The base is going to be tomatoes, and we're going to puree them. And then we're also going to add tomato paste to make it thick.
there's also a lot of seasonings that we need to add. So we need onion powder, garlic powder, basil, oregano, fennel seed, a little bit of crushed red pepper, thyme, and parsley. And then there's a secret ingredient,
And salt.
and salt.
So we didn't have tomato puree, so we're going to blend up these crushed tomatoes instead.
Okay, in a medium saucepan, you're gonna add in your tomato puree. The tomato paste. And then all of your seasonings. Put that on medium heat and stir for 25 to 30 minutes. Okay, so now we're moving on to the dough.
So first we have to activate the yeast. So you have to add 1 1/4 cups of warm water with a teaspoon of honey, my hands are clean, now we'll be adding the yeast mixture into 3 1/3 cups of flour, and you can see that we created a well in the middle of the flour, and then we will be stirring it with the spatula.
Okay, so knead it for 2 minutes until it comes together, and then put plastic wrap on top.
Now the dough will sit in room temperature for 4 to 5 hours until it will rise to be double the size. So we're gonna start making the mozzarella, and there's a few steps you have to go through first. So first you have to mix citric acid solutions and rennet solutions. So we have to mix each of these substances with lukewarm water. So for the rennet, we have tablets, and you have to crush them using it.
We have these rennet tablets, and you just crush them and then dissolve the crushed tablet in water.
And for the citric acid, you need 1 1/2 teaspoons of this substance. So as you can see, you add this to the bowl, and then that is the crushed tablet.
Okay, so while we wait for our mixtures to dissolve, you're gonna add in 1 gallon of whole milk into a large pot on the stove.
So now we have the gallon of milk in the pot, and we're going to be adding the citric acid mixture. We're going to then put that over medium-high heat and stir until mixed completely. Now that the milk has reached 90 degrees, we're going to add in the rennet mixture. Then you're going to stir for 30 seconds and then let it sit for 5 minutes.
Cover the pot while you're waiting.
Once the cheese is set, cut it in a hatch cross pattern.
Okay, so now that we've let the cheese set, we're gonna scoop out the curds and then put them in the strainer to set.
Now you must drain the excess whey, which is the liquid, out. Now you must heat the excess liquid until it reaches 180 degrees. Next, put some of the liquid that was just heated into the bowl and add the cheese curds that were strained. and then pull the cheese with your hand. Then wrap it in saran wrap and put it in the fridge. Okay, so it's the next day and the dough has risen, and we now have to punch down the dough to get the air bubbles out before we start working with the dough.
Okay, for the next step, you're gonna roll your knuckles under the center of the dough and push it towards the outside to make our crust.
The mozzarella was refrigerated overnight, and now we're time to grate it. Now you must grate your cheese.
While the oven is preheating to 550, we're gonna put our sauce on our pizza dough. Spread it out evenly.
The sauce is on, so now it's time to add the cheese.
Now you're gonna slide the pizza off the board.
Minutes is up, and it's time to take it out of the oven.
Six. Texture is a 7. And flavor 10 plus. That means 100.
Is there a difference between the two?
That one looks different than this one.
Oh, this one.
It's like a big slice. I picked up this.
It's pretty good.
What's the rating?
Out of 10.
One bite, and then you gotta get a rating.
Oh,
Remember.
we got 2 already.
He's hungry guy.
It's a solid 8. Solid.
I'm gonna go with an 8.5.
Wow!
Rate it.
Rate it?
Yeah.
It's pretty good though. So those simulators, they're probably they're each the size of, let's say, this room here.
What's the rating?
And we have 16 of them.
Taste?
And then it's also a giant
Like a
we have 3
6.
toilets.
Appearance?
It's
2. What was the other one?
Texture.
there's like a lot.
Texture? Negative.
It's cold. Why is it cold?
Because we made it like half hour ago.
Out of 10.
What's the rate?
It's not too bad.
What's the rate number?
I'll give it an 8.
8. Okay.
It's not as bad as I expected.
Okay, out of 10.
I'm gonna give you a 6.
You also have to rate it out of 10.
It's freezing. It's really chewy. Oh, we dropped the pizza.
Good, Julie.
What do you think?
Okay, so like, it's a little cold.
Well, besides that,
The sauce tastes like wine a little bit.
Made with love.
This is kind of hard and chewy, but I think it's just because it's sat out, you know. I think I would give it a solid
Second bite? Okay.
7.5 out of 10.
Woo!
yes.
For Julia McKenna making it.